everyone, welcome back to EGR 150. We're going through yet another Excel fundamental. So this time we're going to be doing absolute and mixed references. Last time we did relative references. Now, from the start, this is the index page. I told you I was going to add it, and I did. So all these little buttons will jump you to the different sections in your Excel Everest knockoff worksheet. So I've got Navigating Excel. I click there. It pops me to here. And if I want to jump back to the index, I click Jump to Index. I go to Relative References. And I can jump back to the index anywhere I want. In this case, we're going to go to Absolute and Mixed References. Now, you notice this little arrow right here. Well, that's going to be very, very helpful. Because as we scroll down here, if we want to jump to another section, well, we can use the arrow key. It'll take us to the very top. And eventually, I do hope to have like a little help text right here with extra videos for you from the internet that you can watch if you need to. So the arrows will help you jump back up if you need to read something again. And Jump to Index will get you back to the index where you can choose the next section. Okay, so absolute and mixed references. Now last time we did relative references. Remember, when you copy and paste a relative reference, it remembers where it was looking before. So if it was looking one column to the left before, you copy and paste it, it still looks one column to the left. If it was looking one row above before, when you copy and paste it, it still looks one row above. So using that, let's solve this right here. This example right here, we can do it. I believe in us. So the created equation that will multiply the number on the left by the number at the top. We should be able to drag this equation across and down. Okay, not too hard. Equals, and I click on one number. I clicked on that guy right here. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's what's going on here. There we go. And then times this guy on the top. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. That looks pretty fantastic. So let's drag it over and then drag it down. I don't know about you, but I think 6.372 times e to the 42, that's 42 zeros, might be a bit bigger than what 5 times 5 is supposed to be. Something has gone terribly wrong. Now, if you do this slightly different than I, well, you might have a different issue. But in my case, it's because when I dragged it, it still looked one row above and one column over for those two numbers. And those two numbers were changing. And so it multiplied itself over and over and over and over again until we got to here. So there's a way we're going to fix this. We'll learn how to do it later. We'll come back to this. For now, I'm going to go delete this because I always forget to erase it. Okay. So we can fix this. We're going to use something. We're going to learn about something new. If you don't want that reference to move, so like I want this cell, and only this cell. Even when I copy and paste it, I want this cell right here. We need to use something called an absolute reference. Now, an absolute reference is made by adding money signs. So if we always wanted to look at cell F4, well, it will become money sign F, money sign 4. So in this little example right here, you see we have a relative and an absolute. And when we copy and paste it, the relative moves. I moved 2 rows down, and so it looks 2 rows down. It's now looking at A3. The absolute, though, still looks at A1. It did not move. It still looks at the exact same place. This can be helpful. It can be very helpful. Now, it's always good to have a shortcut. So if you're typing this and you want to make it easier, you can just hit the F4 key. Your function has to be, it's function F4. Sometimes computers have multiple things you can do. You'll have to hit the function key first and then F4. If you hit the F4 key, it will toggle it to being an absolute reference. It goes from a relative to an absolute by hitting that. As a note, it doesn't have to be highlighted. Your cursor just has to be next to it. So if I say equals A1, and I do function F4, you notice I didn't highlight it there. I just had my cursor next to it. And it will only do the one that your cursor is next to or highlighted. It won't do everything in the equation unless you highlight them all. Okay. So with this in mind, let's try out another thing. So you're creating a calculator to easily determine an object's weight given its mass. Weight equals mass times gravity for reference. It says use a gravity of 9.81 and fill in an equation that you can drag down to calculate all the weights. Okay, well, gravity is going to be 9.81. We plug that in here. And then weight is equal to mass times gravity. So equals, here's my mass times my gravity. Okay, but remember, we need to have an absolute reference to gravity. That should not move. So I want to go ahead and hit the function F4 key to make my gravity good. However, this mass is going to change as I go down the row, so I don't need to do anything to it. It's fine. So hit enter. That one's good. Drag it down. And they're all good. Woo! So with that one, we got another example done. Boom. Beautiful. Okay. So, right, here's another example. I'll let you do it this time. But in this case, we're trying to fix this gravitational force equation. If you double click right here, you need to make some of these, not all of them, absolute references. So that means you click next to them or inside of them, hit function F4 for each of these references. I'm not going to say which ones are which, but you should be able to kind of figure it out. You can know it, trial and error it to figure it out. Okay. Now, here's a second question for you. What if I want it to be able to move left and right, just not up and down? Or what if I want it to be moved up and down, but not left or right? Well, that's called a mixed reference. And we're going to learn about that next time. See you later. Bye-bye.